The Stranger in the Camp, exposing the semantics of modern Christianity, Malachi turned to another historical layer. During Solomon's time, we also see labor forces and skilled workers.
2 Chronicles 2:1-2 says Solomon appointed men to bear burdens and men to hew in the mountain. Do you see that? Hewers, burden bearers, workers. That is labor language. 1 Chronicles 22:15-19 says there were workmen in abundance, hewers and workers of stone and timber. And this is a work description, not a race description. Again, work descriptions, not race descriptions, not covenant inclusion, not a bloodline chart.
Explained. Labor categories existed in Israel's national building projects. Hewers, bearers of burdens, workers of timber and stone. Those are work descriptions. You do not build doctrine on the assumption that every labor phrase equals a foreign covenant nation. He turned again. 2 Kings 12:7, 12, he summarized. Even later, money was given to carpenters, builders, masons, and hewers of stone for repairing the house. Again, labor function, not covenant ethnicity. He faced Pastor Miles.
Christians keep confusing occupation with origin. They confuse status with bloodline. They confuse proximity with covenant inclusion. That is the semantic poison.
The crowd leaned in. Malachi spoke slower now. Let me show you how the trick works. He wrote on the board.
Step 1, isolate one word, stranger. Step 2, ignore the audience, children of Israel. Step 3, ignore the covenant, Moses renewing covenant with Israel. Step 4, ignore the camp, tribal structure. Step 5, ignore the precepts, Psalm 147, Amos 3, Leviticus 25, Numbers 1. Step 6, import modern Christian universalism. Then say everybody is included. That is not exegesis. That is a doctrinal heist. They rob Moses, silence David, overturn Amos, contradict the Psalms, and then they dare to call it love.
The Christians in the room were no longer comfortable. Malachi's voice became sharper.
You cannot love people into a covenant the Most High did not make with them. You cannot invite nations into an oath he gave to Israel. You cannot use the word stranger as a crowbar to break open the promises. And you cannot pretend that precept upon precept is optional.
Pastor Miles looked down at his notes. Malachi returned to Deuteronomy 29. Read the chapter like an Israelite. Moses gathers the nation. He names the leaders. He names the men. He names the wives and children. He names the strangers in the camp, even the lowest laboring class. Why? Because nobody in Israel could escape the oath.
The captain was bound, the elder was bound, the officer was bound, the man was bound, the wife was bound, the child was bound, the poor displaced servant was bound, the woodcutter was bound, the water carrier was bound. All Israel stood before the Most High. That is the point. Not all nations, not Gentile covenant inclusion, not the church replacing Israel, not everybody getting the same covenant. The point was national accountability. Beware of Christian semantics. They will make you focus on a word and forget the witness. They will say, see, it says stranger, while hiding from the fact that the covenant was made with Israel. They will say all the men of Israel are already accounted for, while ignoring that the passage is listing ranks and conditions inside the covenant body. They will say, these strangers cannot be Israel, while Leviticus calls a poor brother a stranger or sojourner. The doctrine bleeds from every side of this truth. They will say, hewers of wood and drawers of water means foreign people, while scripture uses the phrase for servile labor. Pastor Miles, answer yes or no. Does Deuteronomy 29:1 say the covenant was made with the children of Israel?
Yes.
Does Deuteronomy 29:12 say those listed were entering the covenant?
Yes. Does Psalm 147:19-20 say the Most High gave his statutes and judgments to Jacob and Israel and not to any nation?
Yes. Does Amos 3:2 say Israel only was known of all families of the earth?
Yes.
Does Numbers 1 show Israel's camp was tribal and ordered?
Yes.
Does Leviticus 25:35 call a poor brother a stranger or sojourner?
Yes.
Then your false doctrine is dead. The stranger in Deuteronomy 29:11 is not proof that other nations were included in Israel's covenant. The stranger is a status description inside Israel's camp. Lineage did not change. Status did. Blood did not change. Condition did. The covenant did not expand to all nations. The covenant remained with Israel. And that is why Christian semantics must be exposed. When they cannot win by covenant, they try to win by vocabulary. When they cannot prove doctrine by precept, they trap the reader with isolated words. But the Most High gave us a defense against that. Precept upon precept, line upon line. Through precepts, we get understanding, not through Christian word games. To the awakened Israelites watching on TikTok and across social media, we must be watchmen for Israel according to the Bible, not according to emotional feelings that cleave to other nations. Our job is not to follow our hearts. Our job is to obey the word of the Most High. So I ask you plainly, will you be obedient to his word and answer the call? Is the Most High's will being done or yours? Let's strive to do the Father's will that has been laid out for us so we may walk in truth. And thank you for sharing and reposting. I am Malachi, and this series was created by your brothers in love, Salvation to Israel, and Bethink Israel. Shalom.